So now we're looking at graphing an ellipse where the center is not the origin. And as I mentioned earlier, when we were looking at the ones that are centered at the origin, it's when we have something being added or subtracted to x or added and subtracted to y that we're going to have a center that's not at the origin. The process other than that is the same. We find the center and then we look at going a and b. Remember, under the x squared term is a squared. Under the y squared term is b squared. So we want to take the square roots of those to find a and b, and then we'll go that direction, that many units in each direction from the center.
So we know it's going to have a vertical major axis because what's under the y squared term is greater than what's under the x squared term.
Now, where is our center? Well, we're looking at the form x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1, where hk is the center. So in this case, x minus h, that's x plus 3, is x minus negative 3. So our h, our center, our hk is going to be negative 3, because we're adding 3 to x, and it's x minus negative 3. And then y minus 5, that's going to give us a k of just 5. So now we know our center is at negative 3, 5. So we'll go ahead and put that point on here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's our center. Now how do we get to our vertices in order to graph this ellipse? Well, we look at a squared, which is under the x squared term. That equals 4, which means that a equals 2. So that's in the x direction. So we want to go plus 2 and minus 2 from the center in the horizontal direction. That's going to put us at negative 1, 5. And negative 5, 5. So our minor axis vertices are at negative 5, 5 and negative 1, 5. And again, we're just subtracting 2 and adding 2 to the x term. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So now we do the same thing with our major axis vertices. We know b squared equals 16. So that tells us that b equals the square root of 16, which is 4. So we go up and down from the center 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know the major axis vertices are at negative 3, 9, and negative 3, negative 1. And again, we're just adding and subtracting b from the y value of our center. So 5 plus 4 is 9. 5 minus 4. Sorry, I wrote negative 1. I meant 1. Negative 3, 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. So our major axis vertices are at negative 3, 9 and negative 3, 1. And finally, we just connect the dots in order to get our ellipse. So again, process is essentially the same. We're going a from the center, plus and minus a from the center in the x direction, plus or minus b in the y direction. We're just starting at a different center than the origin in order to get to those vertices.